Hello everyone. So today I'm going to come on and talk to you a bit about my work and how my programs work and how they can help you. So yes, I am a trauma-informed coach. I work on an energy level, working with the energetics that may be stored in the body or the energy field. So I will go in and have a look at see how your response system is to see, if you've got trauma, where that trauma would be stored. So it could be something going back to childhood, it could be abuse, neglect, that type of thing. It could be sexual abuse. It could be something to do with the mother or father, how you're brought up, how your relationships are. Of course, we all have trauma. We all accumulate it over time, but it's just about how you deal with it. So, well, you may have heard the saying, the body keeps score. So if you might think that I can just push it to the back of my mind and I can deal with it and it's not an issue and don't address the emotions and the feelings that come up with it. But of course, that's all energy, and that energy then gets stored in the body. So I have to look in to see where that is stored and how it is affecting your life. So a lot of people would normally have gone to therapists or counsellors, people like that, before they get to me. And those things don't work well. They work for some people, but not everyone. So then they tend to come to me to see how I work. And obviously I work on the energetic field. So I have to go in and see where it is stored in the body, where it is emotionally, and what your aches and pains are, that type of thing. But also going to see where it is in your energy field. And also, you might have heard the saying of epigenetics. So it can be in your DNA. So it might not even be your trauma that you're experiencing. Maybe you suffer from anxiety, depression, and other ailments or states of mind, and you don't know where they stem from. And so over time, this will just accumulate. So with the epigenetics, that could be stored in your DNA, which could go back for generations. So if you think if you're a female and you was in your mother's stomach, before you were born, you would have had, your eggs would be there as well. So those eggs, where they're formed, say between 4 and 6 months, I don't know the exact time, while you're in, you would have all your eggs in that little baby from that time. So they would come from the DNA from your mother. And then your mother would have the DNA from her mother in her eggs. So you can see how it can get passed down the generations. So there could be a response in there for something going back to a war, going back to, many generations really. It could be something to do with poverty. It could be to do with abuse. A lot of the times in families, you can see repeating patterns, and they may not necessarily come out in the next generation, but they might come out in a couple of generations. So you can see that there's something there. So there could be maybe somebody who had addictions, and that doesn't necessarily come out in youth, for instance, but it might come out in your child. And if you don't have a child, it can jump, and it can be in like a niece or nephew or a cousin, or if there's been some sort of sexual abuse, you can see that there's a repeating pattern there. So all of these things, not only are they could potentially stored in your DNA, they also, if you've experienced them yourself and not dealt with them, everything there, that those emotions just generate an energy. So that energy is then stored in the body. Sometimes it can mean aches and pains you just can't get to the bottom of. Other times it can be emotional states where you just feel really like depressed, low joy in your life, you can't get motivated, you can't move forward, you can't keep a relationship, or you're falling out with everybody, you can't hold down a job. There's just many reasons why this stored trauma could affect your life. And usually I get people that have tried most things, and then something I might say will resonate with them. So it does have to have a resonance. We do have to be a fit to work together. I mean, obviously, I'm a psychic medium. I work in the quantum field. I do lots of work. I've done lots of studying over the years. So I've got a pretty good understanding about what I'm doing when I'm working with the energy field. But some people may not understand that. I have worked with people that don't understand anything I do, but just was, wit's end, tried everything else. By this time, they're drinking, medicating, fighting, getting arrested, you name it. There's so much going on. They're falling out with their family and people are not talking to them anymore. They're trying to hold down a job, but they're getting in debt because they can't control their emotions or regulate their system. So I have actually worked with people that don't understand what I do, and with really good results as well. But it's a trust thing there. You do have to trust the person that you're working with, that they've got the best interests. So anyway, so working on the energy field. So sometimes we have to go into the quantum field as well to work on that. Sometimes I go into the Akashic records. Sometimes I do past life work. Sometimes I do mother wound, father wound, inner child, and sometimes it's all of it, just depending on what level of trauma that you've got there. But you have to work on it. You can't just leave it. It can't sit there in your system without causing a problem. So when people say to me, you know, I really think it's about time now that I did something for myself. I feel like I don't have any joy in my life anymore. I feel like I can't get a relationship. I can't keep hold of money. Sometimes it can be a poverty thing that goes down the line as well. There could be an anxiety around money, anxiety around debt, anxiety about never having enough or feeling enough, or feel worthy of something, don't feel worthy of a good relationship. There's just a lot to unpack, and you don't really know what you're going to be unpacking until you start working with it and start doing it. So, you know, to answer some of the questions, that's about as general as I can get without knowing your business and knowing what's happened to you in the past. So if you feel that this type of work would be good for you and whether we'll be a fit, we have to feel that we're on the same wavelength. My stuff has to resonate with you to feel that, you know, we can progress. There has to be an element of trust there. Maybe you've like done something else with me and worked with me before, but if you're new to like working with me or interacting with me, then you might need to look at some feedback, or you might want a recommendation. So there's people that you could speak to and say, oh, she did this with me and that with me, and this is my outcome. Thankfully, everybody has really benefited from it. It is not a simple process. Yes, you will feel very tired during this process of working. It, for both of us, I find it very tiring as well to work on this level. We have to do a lot of healing, a lot of clearing. I have to work with my guides, higher beings, even got psychic surgeons that come in with stuff that needs to be removed from this system, from the body, from the energy field. I can't do it alone. I have to work with these other beings, if you like, to be able to do this work. But it has to be like a contract between the two of us, that you're going to allow this to happen, this to work for you. You've got to be fully in, you've got to be fully committed to do the work. The sessions are roughly 3 hours, sometimes 4. And some of the programs start from about 5 sessions. And there's obviously a longer one as well. At the moment, I've only got 2 programs going. Some of them have got readings in there. I give you the tools to look after your sympathetic system, your nervous system, how you can regulate yourself as well and not get so stressed when things come up for you. So it's all a bit of a learning curve, and it will always be work in progress. There will always be stress, there would always be some sort of trauma come up in your life, but it's about how you deal with it for you to be able to move on and just clear that energy field. You know, everybody feels lighter, that they've lifted a heavy weight by the time they've finished this. Some people even look younger by the time they finish this. Some people are invigorated to do something new, take on new challenges, get back out dating, having a new lease of life. It just depends what is going on, what has been going on, whether you're staying in a victim mode or whether you feel that now it is time for you to let go of a lot of things. We do a lot of stuff on forgiveness and releasing as well. Just a multitude of things that we just get through in these sessions. That's why they're quite long. We can do them for an hour and a half over a long period of time, but you really, by the time you get to the next one, that's sort of being undone. You need to dig deep. You need to get in there. It needs to be a big, like, let's just get on with this and face it and fully be integrated in what needs to be done, what needs to be cleared, what needs to be addressed, whether it's generational, past life, what's happened in this life, accumulation of everything, going up and changing contracts, severing cords. It's a lot. It's a lot. Okay, so that's just the general gist of what I do. So if anyone feels drawn to want to work with me, if it resonates with you, drop me a message. Let's have a chat and see what we can do together. So thank you for listening, and hopefully I'll connect with some of you soon.